one of 3 babies that I have, and the reason why I have my special guest today is because one of the 3 that I have is experiencing metabolic bone disease, the beginning symptoms of it. So this is more of an informative video. It's not one of the how-to videos. So let's get started here. The reason why I discovered, or how I discovered this was I was picking them up, checking them out like I often do, and with younger ones, like less than yearlings or less or younger, the bottom of the shell is going to be soft. It's going to be pliable. It's the last part of the shell that actually hardens. But here on the sides, if you notice anything soft or squishy in that area, don't squeeze too hard. But if you do find areas that are less than desirable as far as being the hardness of the shell, that could be a sign of metabolic bone disease. So I noticed that when I was feeding. One of the ones had actually soft scoots on the side of its shell here. So I wanted to make a video and kind of go over what metabolic bone disease was, how to treat it. Obviously, if you find your tortoise has a soft shell and it's very lethargic, it doesn't want to eat, it's not opening its eyes, take it to a vet. There are reptile vets probably near your area. It's good to do the research probably when you purchase your reptile if there is going to be a vet around, even before you have problems with your reptile. Just for instances like these, whereas mine, I noticed had a soft shell, but they're very alert, they're very active, as you can tell here, and I think that I've caught it pretty early on. So it's treatable. So what is metabolic bone disease? And what does it really mean? So metabolic bone disease, or MBD, is a deficiency in calcium. Come over here, buddy. The deficiency in calcium, it results in a compromise in the bone density in a tortoise. Now, if you look at your tortoise here, you can tell that the shell and the skeletal structure is one of the same in a tortoise. So, metabolic bone disease for these guys means that's huge, because a lot of their body is composed of their skeletal structure. Big thing is being their shell. Oftentimes you'll see tortoises with shell deformities, and you'll see kind of concave shell structure, especially on the top part here, and that's a result of metabolic bone disease. So when you're not giving the proper amount of calcium to the tortoise's diet, their body will look elsewhere for the calcium, and that comes from the bone structure of your tortoise, and that results in that bone deficiency that we just talked about. So man, this guy's really moving. So how do you fix this, or how do you prevent this? One of the things you can do to prevent this is actually add calcium, a calcium supplement, and I'll show you a picture of that in just a minute. So you add this calcium powder to their vegetable mix, or we use spring mix here, and that helps. Also, UVB light is just as important, because UVB light allows your tortoise to absorb the calcium and actually get it from the powder in the food and actually absorb it and utilize the chemical. Otherwise, they'll eat it and just pass through, and they won't get the benefits from the calcium. So with that, my plan is to go ahead and create a structure. So the reason why I think this was happening, it's not that I wasn't aware of metabolic bone disease. I'm very aware of its causes, and I did the research on it prior to making the video here. For me, to combat it, I like to do these videos because it puts me on point, with the animals, and with you guys, in my audience, you can say, "Hey, John, you're not doing this. You need to be taking better care of your reptiles," and that's fair. Uh, our overall goal here on the channel is to promote healthy, happy animals, reptiles. So I've come up with a system to kind of schedule how regimens will be given to the tortoises and to all my reptiles, rather. Because you think about it, metabolic bone disease isn't specific to tortoises. Turtles can get it. Bearded dragons can get it. And when they get it, because metabolic bone disease, as we mentioned, it affects skeletal growth. So if you know anything about bearded dragons, this guy he's wanting to move around today. He's excited. So if you know anything about bearded dragons, they grow rapidly in their first 2 years. They grow tremendously in length. They start out like that big, and they can get up to 18 inches in the first 2 years of their life. So you can imagine you get one shot to get that metabolic bone disease thing prevented and taken care of before it becomes an issue. And a lot of times you'll see bearded dragons with legs that don't work, or they look like a banana, and they can't actually fully function like a bearded dragon normally would with mobility, because metabolic bone disease occurred sometime early on in their life. And it's not to say that it's not like they're going to die right away. They are capable of having a happy life. So if you rescue one that has metabolic bone disease, it's not like they're not going to be somewhat comfortable. Obviously, they're not going to be as comfortable as a healthy one. But I don't want that to deter you from, picking up one that you can rescue. It's a very noble act, and I think, people that take on that responsibility are very special people. So I commend you for doing that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've done to kind of create a system to combat this and to ensure that the animals are getting fed the proper calcium. Mind you, I live in a household where I'm not the only one that feeds these guys. My children also feed them on a regular basis as well, as they are equal parts of taking care of all the animals in the household. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so I've made a few changes here in the reptile room. You'll notice, here we go. You'll notice right here, I have implemented these, these plaques, and I put them throughout here. Everybody's got plaques on their terrariums now, and this is important. So the reason why I put these in is to keep track of who does what on what day. And I'm going to further see, I haven't completed these ones yet. So like this one here for the sulcata Vector. Hi, Vector. So what we're doing here is you write down what type of diet they're getting. You're going to check mark whether they've received like their vitamins and their calcium, and then if you spray down their enclosure, that would include changing their water, so on and so forth. And I want to add to that too what day of the week it is that they did this, so they can check mark like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something similar to this one here. That way you can keep track of who does what day. Every animal requires a different diet. They require different supplements, and it can get complicated. Because I know a lot of reptile owners, they don't just own one reptile. So it can get complicated, and I wanted to create a system to kind of combat that and make it more organized and make it more structured, so your animals are properly taken care of, and promote healthy life. That's what it's about. So here down here I have my label, my food center. That's got crickets, superworms, mealworms, and my mealworm farm that I'm working on. Another episode for another day. And then over here, let's talk about this calcium. So This one's a Fluker's calcium here. And this one is with vitamin D3, so you can easily check mark both boxes because this has both in there. I also have a multivitamin here. Right here, this is a multivitamin. And this is kind of like filling the gaps. Say you go like a couple weeks with just one type of lettuce or one type of vegetable or one type of insect, whatever. The multivitamin, I feel, helps fill the gaps of the variety that you're lacking at that time. I would always promote doing a variety diet, and that's why I have a diet. That's why I have a diet category here, so that way you know. Okay, they got spring mix yesterday. Today I'm going to feed them prickly pear cactus. Tomorrow I might feed them Missouri tortoise diet. You know, those sort of things. Variety is good. It helps them, you know, get the most out of the food that they're eating, and it'll help them, you know, grow bigger and stronger. You know, so yeah, those are the. I'm looking over here, see what we got here in our vitamin area. You know, and these are some of the other things you can feed in lieu of just regular lettuce and stuff. We got this is a Zoo-Med grassland diet, and then there's also a forest diet. Each one, it even says on those boxes exactly like what they're designed for, programmed for your tortoises as well. And this is like for my bearded dragon here. This will show the gourmet blend. Gourmet blend. The only thing I have to say to that is be careful of what you're feeding your animal, if it truly is healthy for them. Do your research online before giving them anything, natural or not. I mean, things out of your garden. Certain animals don't like spinach. It's not good for them. I heard kale can be, or aloe, can be very bitter, not taste good for them. So those are things to be careful of and precautionate of. And, you know, that's the short video today. Not a long one, but hey, until next time, please like, subscribe, and if there's a topic or video that you want to cover, please let me know. Or if you have suggestions for the video topic covered today, also let me know. Thanks for watching.